Video games are great. Yep. But there's one thing you may have noticed after looking at the box art of each of them. That is a letter, which is a rating. It can be E, E10, T, M, very rarely AO or EC. What are these? Well, I'm sure you know most of them. But what you may not have actually wondered until now, how was this created? The ESRB, also known as the Entertainment Software Ratings Board. How was it created? I mean, it's just synonymous with video games. Never really thought of before that question. But here we are. This is what we're talking about today. Hi guys, I'm DPX and I am the In-Depth Detective. Welcome back to another episode of, a show with that same name, where we look at how the ESRB was created. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notifications, and leave a comment, and you'll be a loyal subscriber. Before video games received content ratings, other medias have already had installments that started controversy and ultimately are responsible for content ratings. In terms of movies, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Gremlins are responsible for the PG-13 rating and eventually other ratings too. Beavis and Butthead got some kid to light his house on fire in a tragic event and caused the show to be moved to a later time slot and also have a disclaimer stating that they are just characters. Not to mention, many songs and books received content ratings because of violent or inappropriate lyrics or just violent pictures or words. Video games were next, and probably needed it more than anything else because they're actually interactive. You are actually the one causing the violence in it. You are the murderer. However, this wasn't without a few games. The ESRB was created by three games pretty much: Mortal Kombat, Night Trap, and Lethal Enforcers. Mortal Kombat is for its overall violence and especially in the fatalities, Night Trap for using scantily clad women, and Lethal Enforcers for using the Konami Justifier, which was a light gun, and being pretty bloody as well. Mortal Kombat, of course, being the most financially successful out of the three, but Night Trap and Lethal Enforcers were just as controversial. These three got parents mad too. It was until a kid asked for Mortal Kombat and almost got it, but his dad happened to be an attorney and told his boss about it. This is where things get crazy.
If the video game industry cannot effectively police itself, and so far, despite today's announcement, it has not proven that it can, then parents throughout the country will insist that Congress take action.
There was a congressional hearing held to discuss violent video games. Both Howard Lincoln of Nintendo of America and Bill White of Sega of America were also there for their respective companies. Though Nintendo wasn't exactly immune, Sega kept getting obliterated.
For adults that choose to entertain themselves in this way, shape, and form.
If you're a bad player, what happens?
If you're a bad player, you will see that scene.
The woman gets attacked.
The woman gets attacked.
You're going to have a long way to go to convince me that you're raising anyone's values or reducing anyone's inclination toward aggression, and particularly aggression toward women, by putting this on the market.
Nintendo and Sega versions of games would be shown side by side, and Sega would have the more violence in them. It's also worth noting that Nintendo's Howard Lincoln really shut down Sega in this.
Furthermore, I can't let you sit here and buy this nonsense that this Sega Night Trap game was somehow only meant for adults. The fact of the matter is, this is a copy of the packaging. There was no rating on this game at all when the game was introduced. Small children bought this at Toys R Us, and he knows that as well as I do. When they started getting heat about this game, then they adopted the rating system and put ratings on it. But today, just as I'm sitting here, you can go into a Toys R Us store or a Walmart or a Kmart, and you know as well as I do that you can buy this product and no one, certainly no sales clerk at retail, is going to challenge you. So the point I'm getting at is putting these ratings on, if that's as far as we're going to go, isn't going to get us anywhere.
I don't want to dwell on this whole hearing for too long, as there is a lot more to unpack with this. I can honestly be here for like an hour. But ultimately, the industry moved forward with a rating system. But how would you know you have to use the rating system? In 1994, which was the next year, another congressional hearing was held, but this time it was to move forward and pretty much announce the ESRB. So I posed a question: how can you just not bypass the rating system? The simple answer would be money. Not only that, but retailers will also refuse to sell games that haven't been assigned a rating.
Upon implementation of an industry-wide rating system, Walmart will only purchase video games that have gone through the rating process and received a rating. Thank you.
Toys R Us would also only purchase rated games. Thank you.
We're on a roll.
And we welcome the opportunity to assist in any way we can in the development and the implementation of such a system. Thank you.
Thus, the ESRB was created. Some may argue that the whole outcry for violence in video games may have been overblown out of its proportion, but you cannot deny that a rating system, in the end, happened to be a good idea. Now you see a bunch of parents complaining that their kids are playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or the latest Call of Duty, and it's poisoning them. That's more their fault. Back then, this was the industry not being responsible enough to regulate itself, and video game violence had gone too far. Well, I want to know what you think. And the question of the day is, do you think that the outcry was blown out of proportion or not? Vote in the poll, and I will be responding to comments of you explaining why in the comments. So you gotta vote in the poll and explain why in the comments, and I'll be replying, hopefully, to as many as I can. So yeah, that'll be it for this episode of the In-Depth Detective. If you like this video, did you find it helpful? Learn something? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.